What's up, everybody? I'm coming to you with yet another anime review, and this time it is for the anime called Gangsta. Not the newest part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, but an anime literally called Gangsta. Um, on this anime, I watched the dub version on VRV. I think it was maybe Funimation or Crunchyroll, one of those. But it's about 12 episodes, and it's a very interesting anime. So, with a name of Gangsta, you do expect like a urban, kind of gritty, potential type of story. And that is what you get here. It's set up in this city that is overrun with crime and drug dealers and prostitutes and superhuman soldier warrior types. Um, it's a anime that has a, I guess you would call it, a more adult setting. And when I first heard of it, and even going into the first episode, I was expecting it to just, if it was going to be a lesser anime, just lean on its setting for shock value. But needless to say, I was actually surprised. I think the setting and the context of everything actually helped the show overall. So it follows three main characters, but really it's two main characters. One guy's name is Warwick, and another one is named Nicholas. These two guys are handymen because in this town full of crime, it's ran by four big, what you would consider mafia families. And these two guys, they'll take jobs from anyone who has the money. Kind of reminded me of an anime called Getbackers from some time ago, but with just a more, dipped in the rated M pool. But yeah, Warwick and Nicholas. One guy's a deaf, almost mute swordsman with like superhuman abilities. And on Warwick, he's a normal person, but he's real smart and really good with a pistol. And there's also another person that I consider a main character. I believe her name was Alex, who is a prostitute who gets saved early on in the series, ends up kind of working alongside the two handymen. You kind of see the story and the world almost through her eyes to a certain extent. Um, and the story in these 12 episodes, it goes through introducing you to the world and to the way that this city works, these different crime families and these different people with supernatural abilities, and get a lot of backstory with the main characters. Um, I'm not gonna spoil too much about the story, but that's kind of like the setup. It's about two guys in a city full of crime who take on odd and end jobs to make money to support themselves. So anybody who could pay for them, and usually this is their work is violent work, like they're very capable killers in essence. But let me talk about some things that I liked about this anime. One thing I liked about the anime is the backstories of the main characters. These stories were very interesting. Like I say, I was surprised that this violent, real gritty setting worked so well. It served the story more than hurt it. Because a lot of anime, when they're trying to be ultra violent or ultra edgy, it almost turns me off. It's like, yeah, whatever. But in this, like, the handymen aren't exactly heroes. They're decent dudes, but they, they kill pretty quick. But they're doing it to make money. They're solid overall people. And Alex, the the prostitute who gets saved. The thing that I liked about her is like she was like a girl who clearly got taken advantage of, and you know, which is a story of a lot of women. Of course, you know, woman get caught up with the wrong guy. This guy introduces her to a life, and then she essentially just becomes another statistic. Well, and they save her, like I say, early on, but it's not over. Like there's repercussions for the life that she was introduced to, and you feel for her. And I'm glad that the show really showed that. So it had really, really great setup here. Almost every character in the show was very interesting. You meet a lot of the big time players around the town, like a doctor and some of the leaders of the other crime families, other people who are strong, like the main character as a swordsman, and all of it was interesting, and it was paced really well too. I thought the art style was really cool. It was so many pluses, especially in the first half of the show, that I was like really, really, really impressed. And I think it will definitely pull you in the first few episodes. Now to talk about a couple things that I didn't like. Um, okay, well, one, with it being 12 episodes, I can tell you now, the story kind of ends on a cliffhanger. So it's clear that they was hoping for another season. I hope they get another season too, but there's no guarantee of that. Another thing that I didn't care for, which is a literal possible knock against it, is that it almost tried to do too much. Like you get so much information in this show. You know, there's figuring out the origin of the three main characters. You learn about them, but you also learn things about the way the world works. And there's discrimination against the superhuman people, and there's like things that happen toward the end with a lot of other characters that are outside of the main characters. And it comes so fast and so furious without enough setup for you to completely, latch on to anything. Like some things happen that could have had more emotional impact if they had explored it with these sub characters a bit more. Um, it's like a gift and a curse, because the characters are interesting and you feel for everybody as they go through their predicaments. But it's almost like the anime should have been twice as long before the last few episodes that showed all this crazy stuff happening with characters outside of the main characters. It ends up being like so much that I could see it easily overwhelming the viewer. I mean, it was overwhelming me. I was like, wait, who is this? And some guys you just get introduced to like toward the end, and it's like if you're not keeping up with everybody's story, it's not like a mystery type of thing, but it's like major things are happening around sub characters toward the end of the anime. And so you might find yourself, like, whoa, what? Wait, what is all of this? It's a weird knock against it. I don't know. Like I say, they can't control how many episodes they're given to do their show. And it's not to say it's even a bad show. It's just it hits you with so much information in the front, which makes sense because it revolves around the main characters. But then they hit you with a lot of information on the sub characters, but not enough to where you can care as much as you should by the end about their predicaments. Um, with that being said, though, if I struggled to come up with a grade for this, because when it's really rolling, like the first few episodes, I was like, okay, man, this is like a B class anime. But those issues I had with it and the kind of underwhelming last part of the show and these issues it had with just throwing too much information at you, it makes me want to lower it. So really, you could look at this show as a C plus show or a B minus show. Like, but it has actual heart. Its setting, the grittiness, it actually serves it well. Like, don't think, oh, it's just trying to be edgy for the hell of it. Like, no, there's actually a lot of threads and a lot of interesting things here. And I would love to see a season two. I would love to see how this story continues and hopefully sometime end. So I definitely think Gangsta is worth a watch if you're looking for something quick to watch, like a 12 episode show. Um, Matter of fact, if I'm gonna go ahead and give it a rating, I'm gonna give it a B minus because the problems that I had with it, nothing was fundamentally wrong other than just overwhelming you with a ton of information. And that could be alleviated with, some more episodes. And I definitely found myself wanting to see more episodes. Typically, if I call a anime C class, it just means that it's solid. It's just, C as in average. You could pass it. You don't really have to see it. There's more special things out there. And typically when I'm in that B class, and it's like, well, if you might actually, it might be worth checking out. And I think that's what Gangsta kind of lies, like in that B minus range. This is something that's actually worth checking out. It's a pretty cool show. And if you ever get a chance, like I say, maybe burn through it in a quick weekend, but it is worth it. So my final rating for the Gangsta anime, and oh yeah, I also wanted to say that the dub was actually really good. They helped me enjoy it a lot too. I think the voices for most of the characters were pretty spot on. I mean, I hadn't heard it subbed, but I thought that the dub voices fit, and that really helped with my enjoyment of the show. But once again, my final rating for Gangsta is a B minus. Check it out; it's a good show. Hopefully, they'll come out with a second season, but it's definitely worth a watch. So I'll get at you with another anime review at another time. Peace.